Hello, this video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Minasan, hontou ni arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation, an exercise that I do every morning a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:44 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. And you can get a copy at the link above. And if you don't see a link there, there's one down in the description. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met. I then prepare for the coming day and ready myself to die. All right, well, but before I start any of that, I like to kick things off with a poem. And turning back to John Keats, I'm going to read a tricky one, but one that I'll confess, though I read it several times and studied it, I still don't quite understand. Let's see if it makes better sense to you. You can leave a comment if you think you get it. A couple of vocabulary items. Andromeda, of course, it's a constellation, but it's also, I didn't know this, an Ethiopian princess, and the princess that was rescued from the Poseidon's vengeance by the guy that was it Perseus, who cut off the head of Hydra and held it up. Poesy is another word for poetry. Meet is proper in this case, M-E-E-T, has several meanings. Midas and his coinage. At first, I looked this up with ChatGPT, and at first I was under the impression from ChatGPT this referred to the high cost of gold, or the high cost that wealth may take, similar to the trouble that it brought King Midas, whose touch could turn everything to gold. I don't know that it actually means that after reading it. Let's see. And then a bay wreath crown, a laurel crown of honor. Here we go. This poem is called, If by dull rhymes our English must be chained. If by dull rhymes our English must be chained, and like Andromeda the sonnet sweet fettered, in spite of pained loveliness, let us find out if we must be constrained, sandals more interwoven and complete to fit the naked foot of Poesy. Let us inspect the lyre and weigh the stress of every chord and see what may be gained by ear industriousness and attention meet. Misers and sound and syllable no less than Midas of his coinage, let us be jealous of dead leaves in the bay wreath crown. So if we may not let the muse be free, she will be bound with garlands of her own. I'll confess a third time to read it. Still don't get it. Something about language and poetry being constrained in some way. Oh well, sometimes poetry is a little tricky that way. Maybe you got it. Let me know in comments if it made sense to you in some way. All right, let's begin with the good life last night and yesterday. Good, solid day. Did everything I usually do. Saturdays are tough days. Yumiko and I do a lot with all the stuff I do in the morning, and then the house cleaning and all the shopping. It was a full shopping, then some. Began with Tokyo Central, then Target, then Costco Gas, then Daiso, then Trader Joe's. Whew. Plus we walked about 6 miles, had a long ocean swim. Plus I finished updating all of the descriptions on the Abandoned Japan channel, videos. Whew. No wonder I'm tired. Otherwise it was a good day. Let's do the good life. 8 objectives, 35 principles. These are: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of my time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize my true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. Now, before I jump into the 35 principles, let me just point out something that I forgot to mention in my retrospective yesterday. I don't think I'm going to be able to say this in a way that will come across clear, but I'll say it for my own benefit of getting it out. I had an epiphany, for lack of a better term, yesterday regarding my difficulty with this one person at work. This epiphany related to how I should behave in a more stoic manner relative to a person who has authority and his behavior is unreasonable and far beyond my control. I've so far been dealing with it by getting upset. It's not a very stoic or effective manner. Well, it's effective insofar as it lets that person know that I'm not appreciative or willing to participate in unreasonable behavior. Yet it is subordinate, and it is ineffective to a large degree so far. It's like swatting an annoying bee away, right? You know, it heightens anxiety, and at worst I might get stung. Haven't got stung yet, but that could happen. A more stoic approach would be to recognize that the bee is there, ask myself what is within my control, to realize that I have the power to walk away. In effect, I can't walk away very, very easily from this particular bee at work, but I will be walking away soon, relatively speaking. I should keep that in mind. I should behave in a more stoic manner. Recognize that they have the power. They have the influence. I can respond in accordance with my own abilities and my own power and my own reasonable approach. Getting upset is not a reasonable. Maybe it's reasonable, but it's not a very stoic approach because it upsets my own balance and equanimity. Sure, Kurt, but getting upset at an unreasonable person is reasonable. Yeah, but it's not very fun or healthy. So there's that. I'll dwell more on that and go into this next week accordingly. My 35 principles now are war, reason, homunculus, Anchorhold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, social principle, principle of family, public speaking, temperance, the best seed in life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be born, distraction, agency in the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, script writing, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, the principle of fun, and being ready. Got stuck there, didn't I? Just after complete oblivion. Funny. That's a funny place to get stuck. And I know what comes next, although it is a tricky bit. It's a bit of a low spot. Hard to have traction through there. Okay, the last thing I do is to ask myself, prepare myself. There are two more things to do. Prepare myself for the day, and then ready for myself for desk. For preparing myself for today, I have a good free day ahead of me, but I have a lot that I want to do. I want to finish all of my morning stuff. Then I want to finish the I did finish the Abandoned Japan. I just have two things I want to do on the main About page on the Abandoned Japan channel. Then I'll be done with that. Turn my attention to Real Japan Monsters brand. And then I'm going to illustrate this book for my second Patreon supporter. And to hopefully relax a little bit today, although I really don't know the spelling of relax. That's okay. Then ask myself, am I ready to die? All right, is my life's work complete? Yes. Are my relationships sound? Yes. Are my affairs in order? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, I think I'll sign off. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.